Alright, this is Vegeta8259 again, and this is part 5 of the Perfect Grade Gundam GP01 review. And you might notice that he looks a little bit funny. That's because in this part we're going to be going over the conversion from the GP01 ground type to the full burner space type. Alright, so first off, what we're going to do with this guy is just split him right in half. Going to disconnect him from the lower half of the body. I'll put that to the side for now. And now we're just going to focus on the top half. Alright, first this head is going to have to come off very carefully. Because sometimes if you pull too hard, the ball joint will come out instead of the peg right here. And this peg comes out so we can switch it out with the other torso. And then we're going to have to take off the arms, pull those out, and we're actually just going to need one piece of the shoulder armor and pop this off, and then we need this piece right here. So we'll take that with us and do the same thing on the other side. Get that off there. And if I can get this off, there we go. And we don't even need any of this anymore, so we'll put that aside. Alright, so if you'll remember in the last part, we transformed the core fighters. So here's the full burner core fighter all transformed. And we're going to put the armor on it. And this is the full burner armor. And it's going to slide right on there. Gotta make sure it's locked in place properly. There we go. Close that cockpit hatch. Not really sure why I had that open in the first place. And then, let's see, we can probably go ahead and put the arms back on. Put those on there. And we've obviously got different shoulder armor for the full burner. And it's going to slide right on that peg. And there we go. Again, rinse and repeat on the other side. And I guess while I'm doing this video, I'll go over some of the features of the full burner parts. For example, the shoulder armor. These front parts can flip up just like they do on the ground type. And it's got a cool little gimmick. We've got a spring-loaded, three spring-loaded thrusters right here. And flip up this little panel here, and there's a button there. Press it, and the thrusters pop out like so. So I thought that was a nice little gimmick. Plus, this little piece of armor right here can go up and down as well. And then we just take the head and put it right back into place, like so. And that's pretty much it for the top half of the body. Let me move some of this armor out of the way, and we'll start on the lower half. Now, the armor that was around the lower torso was red on the ground type. On the space type, or the full burner, it's white. So we'll have to put this new white armor in place, and it just snaps on really easily and quickly. Alright, and now for the skirt armor. Got the side skirts here. They've actually got a little bit of articulation in them. They can bend back and forth like so, and as you can see, they're on ball joints, so they just pop right on with no problem. And then the front skirts, also on ball joints, slide on like so. And the back skirts are the same deal. They just slide right on. So there we go. Now, I move this camera down, and we can focus on the lower legs. Now, this is where things get a little bit tricky. There was 2 pieces of armor here on the bottom of the leg, and then there was a big, like, piece of calf armor which had some thrusters and some opening panels on it. All that had to be taken off, and it's going to be replaced with this giant piece of armor. And, oops, dropped the camera. And it actually unclips, if I can get it unclipped. Okay, there we go. It's kind of tough. But anyway, it opens up and it's got really nice detail on the inside of it. Really loads of nice mechanical detail down there. And it's going to clip onto the back of the leg. Like, well, if I can get it to do right. Okay, there we go. Well, maybe not. Admittedly, this piece of armor is probably the most difficult piece to get to stay in place. But once you get it, the other 2 pieces will wrap around and they will close in the front here. I have to get all these little clips and things lined up. I don't even know if I have them lined up. It doesn't look like it. Okay, there we go. Now we got it locked into place. As you can see, the ankle armor is going to stay up under there, and it's going to be up under these pieces of armor right there. And we'll pretty much just do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now that the lower legs are on, you'll notice the feet look kind of small. And we're now going to give GP01 some new shoes. Anyway, if you look at the bottom of the feet, you'll notice these 2 little gray rectangles on the end. Well, these are going to flip out and reveal some polycaps down in there. We'll do the same thing on the back. If I can get it open. I might need my trusty screwdriver. In fact, I think I do. Alright, there we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to take these and see these 2 pegs right in there. Those are going to slide into those 2 polycaps and just slip right on top of the foot like so. And we're going to do the exact same thing on the back here. You want to be careful. It's kind of hard to get it to line up sometimes, but if you just mess around with it enough, you'll get it no problem. And of course, the last step is to simply connect the 2 halves of the Gundam together. We'll take the top half that we finished earlier, set it, whoops, remember to open up these little panels on the bottom here, and line those pegs up with the core fighter, set it down, close the cockpit hatch, and we are done. This is the perfect grade Gundam GP01 full burner. And I have to say, it does look pretty impressive like this. Now, the only real downside to the full burner mode is that he is quite back heavy. And I'll kind of demonstrate that. So you can see he is leaning back. He's not falling over, but he is leaning backwards a bit. So you're going to want to take those ankles and lean those forward just to kind of balance his weight out when you have this guy displayed on your shelf. But overall, it is a very, very nice looking model kit in my opinion. Also, one last feature I meant to go over on the full burner armor is that these chest vents can actually open up. You can open those up and this little middle part slides up, and you can see those little thrusters in there. Now, there is a very, very small little switch right here that if you pull it forward, those thrusters will pop out. Now, since I've painted my kit, that switch is very, very stiff, and honestly, I don't think it's going to go. So, basically, I'm just going to have to pull those out manually whenever I do mine. But, unpainted, the switch works fine, and you can open up the chest vents to reveal those small thrusters inside there. So that about does it for the conversion from space type to ground type. I'm sorry, from ground type to space type. Got it backwards there. And yeah, that about does it. And I will see you guys at part 6, I think. Yeah, part 6.